Hey guys, my name is Roger.
Hey, Annie.
So we're here to bring you an episode of WTF Politics, where we basically tell you all the what the fuck news that's going on all over the country. What the fuck? What the fuck? And there's so much to cover. I mean, every single day there's going to be tons to cover. We're not going to record every day, but we're going to bring you as much as we can, as often as we can. Briefly, before we did discuss the Democratic debate, today we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious and closer to home, as well as things that affect other parts of the country.
Yeah, and I just want to say some of this stuff is really, really fucking crazy and really scary, but we need to really wake up and not let it get to the point that it's at with Flint that we're going to talk about in a little bit. We really need to take action now. So,
absolutely. Well, we have a crisis going on coast to coast. We have problems going on currently in California, devastating environmental problems going on in California. We have the Flint water crisis, which is like now national headline news everywhere in the country. Everybody's talking about it. Even Hillary Clinton brought it up. Okay, In the debate. We're glad that she did that. Bernie Sanders has called for the resignation of that governor. People there have been calling for his resignation since this crisis started in 2004.
Not only he should be arrested.
He should be arrested.
Really go against some charges because what he did was horrific.
Yeah, even Michael Moore is saying that he really thinks that this is a form of genocide because this crisis affects predominantly minorities and black people, poor people.
And then we're going to bring it home. We're going to bring it right here. I mean, I just, what does it need to get to for us to pay attention? That's what we want to bring it full circle. So, to start with California, I don't know if you're well aware, but there is a really bad methane leak that they're experiencing on the southern part of California. And it's a major component of a natural gas, and it's odorless. Mm-hmm. So you were telling me that they put a chemical in it to make it.
Natural gas doesn't have a smell to it, so they have to add a chemical so people can actually smell it. But what's actually happening in California is that methane is leaking like by the thousands and thousands, by millions of pounds. It's been a nonstop leak ever since October.
October 23rd, 2015, this leak started. And in 3 months, it's going to be 3 months in almost 4 days, it's already put 150 million pounds of methane into the air.
Just so that you guys know, methane is one of the worst greenhouse gases in existence. It's much worse, like way worse than carbon dioxide, which is what everybody talks about as the greenhouse gas.
Extremely dangerous. They've already evacuated 2,000 residents in Porter Ranch, California, since this has happened. And it could take months to fix.
And what is it? And
because it's 3,000 feet underground.
But you know what kills me, Annie? Like, when I hear Republicans talk about how they want to continue to deregulate, there's Republicans that consider even getting rid of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Can you imagine what would happen to us if we didn't have the Environmental Protection Agency?
Scary.
What are we going to do? They're not taking any responsibility. We're going to do sue them? We're going to sue them. No, we're not going to sue them because this is while the sue's happening, okay, the lawsuit's happening, all of this methane is going into our atmosphere and nobody's getting rid of it. What are we going to do to clean it up?
We can't just let things get to this point. So let's get to Flint. Because
all right, so now Flint, Michigan, you guys know that what they did was the governor, the Republican administration of that state, okay, and because people really just don't understand that they keep voting against their own self-interest. You know, when you try to bring things that are for the public good and you try to take those things and privatize them, what do you think is going to happen when you privatize something? The only thing that's going to matter is profit motive, the profit margin. You're not going to get more innovation from creating a profitable water system. What's going to happen is that they're going to find ways to cut costs in order to be more profitable.
And I've said this before, they're not admitting to climate change and they're not admitting to water becoming a very, very sacred resource, but they're privatizing it and they're trying to buy it all out. So they know it's coming. It's not.
This is not just Flint, Michigan, guys. What you need to understand is that the water crisis is going to happen. Climate change is really happening. It's already happening in California. They were having a drought for a very long time. Okay, and this is going to continue as climate change continues to go full steam ahead. And as water becomes more scarce, and as they continue to privatize water, cut costs, okay, and then which ultimately affects, when they cut costs, you think it's going to affect rich neighborhoods, the elite?
But,
it affects the poor.
I just want to point out,
Flint.
it is happening. A lot of people don't realize this, but the Syrian refugee migration is happening solely because 60% of their water dried up.
Yeah.
And they are experiencing the worst drought in its history,
And
which led to
crops,
80% of their livestock died.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
I mean, the thing we're going to experience water scarcity in a different way because our water is so contaminated.
Yeah.
So it's going to be seen in our children. It's going to come out, instead of a drastic way where it's going to just disappear, which it is happening in California.
Well,
they haven't had water
really bad,
in like 5 years.
But it's not that, because people think, the water is the most available resource we have on the planet. Yes, it's available.
But it's a facade.
But not fresh water.
Because it's not healthy
fresh
water. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fresh water.
So basically, in a nutshell, just to get
So
people
we're
on the
gonna bring
same
it down
page
to
that
New
don't know what happened in Flint.
Okay.
He changed the water source that he was going to take it from. So to paint the picture that we could just understand here, it would be as if the governor just decided we should start drinking the Hudson River.
Oh yeah. If we're gonna bring it to, let's put it in terms of New Jersey,
Perspective,
or New York City. So what would happen if the governor of New York, or Cuomo, or the governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, just decided, hey, we're going to cut costs.
Cheaper
to get it from the Hudson River, and, you'll deal with it.
They might get a little sick. That's all.
Just a little bit sick, no big deal.
That's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
He went into a river that was clearly contaminated.
Yeah, that people knew were
Everybody
contaminated.
knew. It's criminal what he did, and he got away with it. He's still getting away with it
To save money.
And his apology was pitiful. Did he look like he was really?
Oh, we saw his apology. It
Today
didn't look
he
very
spoke
genuine whatsoever.
and apologized, and of course
asked
for
who's
money.
Accountable as there's people
money.
dying. There's already been 10 reported deaths. How many children in a few years are going to have brain damage that's irreversible? There's no way to correct brain damage.
And he
how
did
many
this
fetuses,
switch
how many
in
pregnant women?
2014. I mean, there weren't even children born.
Even if you're not
that had been
drinking
now have been drinking this water all their lives.
But you don't even have to drink the water. Even if you shower
bathe.
in it.
Yeah, that's another thing people don't realize.
People don't realize how much
when
water
you cook
absorb.
your rice, if you're using that water, you can't escape it.
And people think, you'll boil your water to make it a little bit. No, you're just boiling the impurities, the germs and bacteria. But all those chemicals are still in the water. Those heavy metals are still in the water. And God knows what else is in the water. Because we know that our water here in New Jersey is pretty contaminated. So let's bring it to New Jersey.
New Jersey, Christie signed a law greenlighting a fast-track sale of New Jersey's public water on February 5th, 2015.
So now, if you think it's bad, what's happening in Michigan is bad, it's coming to New Jersey. And it's already here in some ways, because just today, a few hours ago, it was just reported that Chris Christie killed the Child-Led Protection Bill. According to the Asbury Park Press, today at around 7:15, he had vetoed something called S1279 that set aside $10 million for the state's Lead Hazard Control Assistance Fund, effectively killing that funding, effectively killing
simultaneously while this is happening in Michigan.
Do you think he cares though? Isn't that's the crazy part? Is that I don't think he cares. These politicians don't care because they're not accountable to the people.
They aren't. But you know what? We need to care. We need to care. We need to realize, there's an agenda here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pipeline that they've been trying to implement into New Jersey, all the way from Linden, New Jersey, up to Nyack, New York, and
an oil pipeline,
a crude oil pipeline. And
we know what that's done. Another
they put one in Texas. They put one in Colorado. They had horrible oil spills that went into their water system. And it's almost irreversible. And if you think about the population here, I mean, there's 9 million people in New Jersey. This is astronomical.
It's unconscionable.
Yeah,
honestly, it's
really
unconscionable that profit matters so much to these freaking Republicans. What the fuck? Our health, our children don't matter. Our future generations. What do you think the state's going to do when all these children get sick? They're going to have to provide health care to all these kids. That's going to cost the state more money. Do you think they care? They don't care, because all they care about is the profits that they make from the contributions.
So by controlling the water and not allowing us to know what's in the water or to test it properly and have other people rather than politicians in charge of that, they're moving along with their agenda of putting in pipelines contaminating our water.
Contaminating our environment, putting us at risk, constant risk. Instead of moving towards renewable energy. You know that in I think it's in either Portland or it's in Washington State. They're putting in water pipelines that generate electricity through these little rotating blades inside the pipes. Can you think of something more genius? They're producing energy with water pipelines. And what are we doing? We're creating oil pipelines so that we can continue this dirty fossil fuel addiction that we have as a country.
Guys,
for profit.
Let's not let this get to Flint, Michigan. Like, let's not let it get to that. Where, 2 years go by, kids are getting sick, they're getting rashes. Why? And you know what? We have to do something now. This is not...
No, we have to do something now. And you know what? And there's an interesting quote, and I don't know from the top of my head, but something along the lines of, first it happens to this group, and then it happened to another group. Eventually...
Very famous German...
Yeah, this is what happened during the World War II, during the Holocaust. Because...
you think it doesn't directly affect you, that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
because they were Christian and white in Germany, or even just not affiliated, not Jewish. Okay, they were like, it's not affecting me because I'm not a homosexual, I'm not a Jew, I'm not, sick or undesirable.
Because I don't have children.
I don't have to care.
Or,
so
we need to stop doing this. We need to stop dividing the reasons why you care about something.
You can't wait until it happens to you to start taking action.
We're all one, and it's affecting all of us.
Yeah. So that's all we have to say today. And what the fuck politics? I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot more coming up. So stay tuned and make sure that you take all of these things that we discuss and you do your own research.
And share it. Tell people. Make people aware of it and do your own research.
Right. And come up with your own opinions, but ultimately make sure that they're fact-based.
Ask questions.
This isn't a Republican or Democrat agenda. This is an agenda for humanity. This is an agenda about us. We have to care about ourselves and the people that are our human family.
The people we live with.